everybody. As Suzanne said, thank you so much for coming today. And everyone here is part of a global action today. In the US and in some other countries as well, there are 375 people's climate marches taking place. And it's kicked off already in Australia. And it's great to be here. So why is everyone taking to the streets? People are scared. People are angry, and they're looking at what's happening to the planet. People here, they know probably the record-breaking temperatures, where the records keep falling, and it's getting hotter. I don't know who saw the news that last week in Pakistan, where it's not even the height of summer yet, a temperature of 50 degrees C was recorded. Just think about what that means, living your life in that kind of temperature. So people are looking at this, and they're looking at Donald Trump and his plans to cut climate science funding, including crucial work by NASA, to push through massively polluting pipelines, to scrap Obama's Clean Power Plan, and even to pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement, possibly. And he is just one man. He's a man who is clearly out of his depth. He said in an interview recently that he was surprised that being President of the United States was harder work than being a reality TV host, because he thought it would be easier. But he is part of a movement of government for and by the rich, white and male, and sod everyone else, sod the future generations and people in other countries and all the rest of us who are going to face the reality of climate change, and those who are facing it already today. So we know what's going on with Trump. So why are we making signs that say Trump may climate disaster? Because we think there needs to be a wake-up call in this country too. We're only going to beat Trump on climate change if we have international solidarity. If the UK ends up isolated, clutching around for any trade deal that it can get, we're going to end up with something that looks like TTIP. Remember the trade deal TTIP that got kicked out of Europe? So we're going to end up with something probably that looks like TTIP on steroids. There's been rumours already going around that the government's telling diplomats to focus on trade deals and not, side issues like climate change. So when Trump got in and May rushed over to see him, that looked like she was endorsing not just his Islamophobia but his climate denial. But she did not do that on behalf of the people of the UK. They turned out en masse in huge numbers to say, we reject this, we reject Trump, we reject everything he stands for. So why we need a wake-up call in the UK on climate change? Well, for several years the government's been going backwards on climate change. While other parts of the world are taking advantage of a global revolution is cheap solar energy, wind energy, there's been new taxes, cuts to subsidies, massive drops in solar installation, down to about a quarter of what it was, massive drops in energy efficiency, home insulation, and big push for fracking, overruling local communities, and still subsidising fossil fuels. So you've got the Drax power station, which burns coal and biofuels, being given something like £1.5 million of subsidies every day. This is crazy. New runway at Heathrow. We don't want a new runway at Heathrow, and the government cannot explain how that is compatible with climate targets. House of Commons committee said the government were guilty of magical thinking on climate and air pollution around Heathrow. Wish and hope. When it comes to climate change, that's not good enough. Magical thinking will not solve climate change any more than it will solve air pollution or create decent jobs, give people decent homes. And we have a general election coming up. This is our chance to make our voices heard. And we're here today to do just that. Thank you so much for coming.